and welcome to Rao's IAS. This is the Daily Print Practice Initiative, wherein we discuss important MCQs from the Hindu and Indian Express. The topics for today's discussion are mentioned over your screen. So let's begin our session. The first MCQ for today is based on this particular topic, which appeared on the page number 4 of The Hindu. So as per the news article, a meeting of Kaveri Water Management Authority is going to be held shortly. And the agenda to the meeting does not contain any reference to the Meghdatu Dam project. So Meghdatu Dam is a proposed dam across the Kaveri river. So it is a proposed initiative of the Karnataka government for drinking water needs and also to produce hydroelectricity. But Tamil Nadu, being the lower riparian state, has opposed this project. So based on this news article, we have framed a question on river Kaveri. And this is important as UPSC has been asking questions regarding the drainage pattern of India. In the year 2017, we found this particular question on the river Teesta. Now let us solve our practice question, which states that with respect to the river Kaveri, consider the following statements. Statement 1. The river rises in the Brahmagiri range in the Western Ghats in the state of Karnataka. Now this is a correct statement. River Kaveri is the third largest river in southern India after Godavari and Krishna. The origin to this river is Talla Kaveri, which is located in the Brahmagiri hills in the Western Ghats in the state of Karnataka. The river, after flowing through Karnataka, enters Tamil Nadu and then drains into Bay of Bengal. Statement 2. Alamatti Dam is one of the largest dams in India located across the river Kaveri. Now this is an incorrect statement. This is because Almaty Dam is located in Krishna river. And if we talk about Kaveri river, one of the important dams in this river is Mattu Dam, which is located in Tamil Nadu. Statement 3. Its important tributaries joining from the left are Kabani, Bhavani and Amravati. Now this is an incorrect statement. This is because Kabani, Bhavani and Amravati are the right bank tributaries of Kaveri river. So this is the map of river Kaveri, and here we can see the location of Mattu Dam in Tamil Nadu. So in this map we can also see the right bank tributaries of the river Kabini, Amravati, Bhavani. And the rivers Hemavati and Shimsha are the left bank tributaries of this river. So the correct answer to this question is option A, only one statement is correct. And the correct answer to our UPSC PYQ is option B. The next MCQ for today is based on this particular article, which appeared on the page number 10 of The Hindu. As per a study by World Health Organization, if the central government is successful in the 100% implementation of Jal Jeevan Mission, this will avert close to 4 lakh deaths due to diarrhea in India. Jal Jeevan Mission is a flagship scheme by the Government of India to provide piped drinking water to all the rural households in India. And the central government aims at 100% coverage to all rural households under this scheme by the year 2024. Now based on this article, we have framed a question on waterborne diseases. Now this is important as UPSC has been asking questions regarding various diseases. In the year 2014, we found this particular question. Now let us solve this question, which states that consider the following diseases: hepatitis A, typhoid, jaundice, malaria. How many of the above is or are waterborne diseases? So what are waterborne diseases? These are the diseases which are transmitted through inadequate sanitation and through contaminated water sources. And these water sources can be contaminated by the microorganisms like bacteria, viruses or other parasites. And some common waterborne diseases in India include typhoid, hepatitis A, jaundice, diarrhea, cholera, dysentery, malaria and shigellosis. So in this question, malaria is not a waterborne disease. Malaria is a vector-borne disease which is transmitted by infected mosquitoes. Though these mosquitoes breed in water, but it cannot be considered as a waterborne disease. Hence the correct answer to this question is option C, that is only 3. And the correct answer to our UPSC PYQ is option B, 3 only. The next practice question for today is based on this article, which appeared on the page number 5 of Indian Express. The Chief Economic Advisor of India has said that the concept of universal basic income is not necessary for India, since it may create ground for perverse incentives. Now based on this article, we have framed a question on universal basic income. So this can be important under the concept of economic justice and polity, and also under various social welfare scheme by the Government of India. In the year 2013, we found this question on economic justice. Now let us solve this question, which states that consider the following. Statement 1. Provide safety net against health and economic shocks. Statement 2. Distort labor market. Statement 3. Reduce purchasing power of money. How many of the above is or are potential consequences of adopting the universal basic income? Now to solve this question, let us see what is universal basic income. The concept of universal basic income was advocated in the Economic Survey of India 2016-2017 to cover every individual's basic needs. So what is universal basic income? It is an unconditional periodic cash transfer to all citizens on an individual basis in any jurisdiction without the requirement of work or willingness to work. So let us break these terms to have a better understanding. The components of universal basic income include universality, that is, it will include all the citizens of any jurisdiction. Second component, this income will be periodic, that is, the payment will be made at a regular interval. Component 3, unconditionality. This means there are no preconditions attached with the cash transfer. That is, there are no conditions such as any requirement to work or even any willingness to work. And the final component is individuality, that is, the payment will be on an individual basis. So in India, there has been a long pending demand to implement universal basic income either by replacing the social welfare scheme or by reducing the fund allotment to these schemes. So what is the primary purpose of universal basic income? It is to reduce poverty and to increase equality among citizens. So one potential benefit will be that it will provide safety net to the individuals against various health or income or any other kind of shocks to the individuals. But there are some concerns regarding universal basic income which were also raised by the chief economic advisor, that it will bring perverse incentives, that is, it will discourage people from seeking income generating opportunities, and hence it will result in distorting labor market or the fall in labor force participation rate. So this is also a correct statement. And another concern is that providing a basic income to every individual may trigger inflation and it may reduce the purchasing power of money. So this is also a correct statement. Hence the correct answer to this question is option C, all three. And the correct answer to our UPSC PYQ is option B. So the next practice question for today is on biological oxygen demand, which is one of the fundamental concepts in environment. Also, this particular question was asked by UPSC in the year 2017. Now let us solve this practice question, which states that Statement 1. High biological activity can deplete the available oxygen in the water body, leading to oxygen deficient conditions. Statement 2. Low biological oxygen demand indicates a significant amount of organic pollution present in the water body. And now you have to answer if statement 1 or 2 are correct and whether statement 2 is a correct explanation for statement 1. Now this practice question was based on this particular article which appeared on the page number 7 of Indian Express. Now the article says that the water quality in the Yamuna rivers is showing a sign of improvement. So to assess the water quality of Yamuna river, an indicator was used which is biochemical oxygen demand. Now let us look at our practice question. The statement 1 is correct. So in any water body, the marine organism require oxygen for respiration, and high level of dissolved oxygen in the water bodies are beneficial for these organisms. But in the case of polluted water bodies, there are some aerobic microorganisms which decompose the organic matter present in the water body. Now in order to decompose the organic matter, these microorganisms will require oxygen, and this high biological activity will deplete the available oxygen in the water body, which will lead to the oxygen deficient condition. Now what is biological oxygen demand? Biological oxygen demand is the amount of oxygen required by this microorganism to decompose the organic matter. So high levels of biological oxygen demand will mean that there is a large population of microorganisms which is actively consuming oxygen to decompose the organic matter, and this will indicate a greater level of pollution in the water body. And if the biological oxygen demand is low, this means there is a lesser pollution in the water body. Hence our statement 2 is incorrect. So the correct answer to this practice question is option C. Statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. And the correct answer to our UPSC PYQ is also option C. The final question for today is based on this particular article which appeared on the page number 17 of Indian Express. So as per this article, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has issued a warning that El Nino is back in Indian Ocean. Now this topic is important under various geophysical phenomena. In the year 2017, we found a question on Indian Ocean dipole. Now let us solve this practice question which states that consider the following statement with reference to El Nino. Statement 1. It is a phenomena in which the sea surface temperature in the Western Pacific Ocean increases more than the normal. Statement 2. Such condition generally brings droughts to India. Now let us understand what is El Nino. El Nino is a climate pattern that develops across the equatorial Pacific Ocean, and this phenomena is witnessed after intervals of few years ranging from 2 to 7 years. Previously, the phenomena was witnessed in the year 2016. So under any normal year or in the neutral phase of ENSO, which is El Nino Southern Oscillation, the trade winds blow west along the equator and take the warm waters from Southern America towards Asia. But in an El Nino year, there is the reversal of the normal conditions. So in the case of El Nino, either this trade winds will weaken or they will blow from west to the east and thus will accumulate this warm water over the central equatorial Pacific Ocean or the eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean and also towards the coast of Western America. Now the statement 1 is incorrect, as the sea surface temperature in the eastern Pacific Ocean will increase more than the normal. The occurrence of El Nino is a concern for India. This is because the phenomena brings a drought-like condition for India and also for Southeast Asia. The correct answer to this practice question is option D. Statement 1 is incorrect but statement 2 is correct. And the correct answer to our UPSC PYQ is option B. So this brings an end to today's session. Stay connected for more updates. Thank you.